hope that through this event we can, in the last 3 months, there are a lot of executive committee maybe having less sleep. That's the initial idea of this event, because in these 3 months left, the members, the excos, the DCP point is already there. The clubs achieving the DCP 5 points, 7 points, 9 points. However, the threshold of membership, they couldn't get it. So that's the initial idea why we create this fireside chat, to boost up the energy of the executive committee and leaders in District 87, and also obviously in Division H and M. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you so much, DTM Yesiska. Yesiska just joined. Thank you so much for coming. And let's welcome, we have 3 speakers in this afternoon. The first one is Distinguished Toastmaster Miranda Rumi. So Distinguished Toastmasters Miranda Rumi joined Toastmasters since 2008, and currently she is in career as a trainer, life coach, speaker, and international event organizer. Currently, she is serving as TLI chairperson in District 87. To date, she has recruited more than 100 members, and she loves finding and experimenting with innovative ways to assist clubs to get more members. Please welcome our first speaker, DTM Miranda Rumi. Thank you so much, Miranda, for joining in our very humble and event in this afternoon. Thank you so much. So continue to our second speaker. Our second speaker is Nickey Teoh, my dear friend from Dynamic Toastmaster. Nickey Teoh runs his own publishing company in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, as the publishing director. He is currently serving as president for Dynamic Toastmasters Club. And the interesting way of Nickey Teoh is that in the base membership of Dynamic was on July 2021. It was only 14 members. In October 2022, going less to 12 active members. And as of April 2022, it's already 17 active members, meaning that Dynamic Toastmasters has exceeded the threshold members of Dynamic. Well done. Thank you so much, Nickey, for coming in. Thank you so much. We believe that we can learn a lot from you. And our third speaker will be Toastmaster Garda, our dear friend from SCBD Toastmaster. Garda is a medical doctor by day and a Toastmasters by the rest of the day. Wow, our doctor. Currently serving as the president of SCBD Toastmasters Club in Jakarta. Toastmaster Garda started with a base number of 25 members, SCBD, gained additional 27 members in 9 months by March 2022. The SCBD Toastmasters has 52 members. Wow, astonishing. Now dropped by 17 to 35, still a lot. After some members decided not to renew due to other priorities. So as of April 2022, the number of members of SCBD Toastmasters currently have 35 active members. Thank you so much, Garda, for joining in. And we believe that we can learn a lot from all these 3 speakers. And today I will be enacted as the moderator for this afternoon event. So if everyone would like to ask questions, please just type on the Zoom chat, and we will read it right away. Because in this fireside chat, most important thing is that the perspective of the audience. So the speakers will moderate, the speakers will answer the question directly. Okay, so Zoom host, please set to the fireside chat setup. Okay. Please let me know, Zoom host, when we are ready.
This is very nice, very interesting. I had it done this way before. It's fun.
We're trying to level up the playing field a little bit, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting setting, huh? Feels like
Okay,
the real one.
yeah. Are we ready, Zoom host?
Yeah, ready.
Yeah,
Okay, thank
maybe
you so
you
much,
should
Zoom host.
move one more, Dajon, so you don't leave a blank, an empty seat. Or are you gonna put the guest there? Of
Yeah, we will put the guest
Oh,
over there later
interesting.
on.
Cool, cool, cool.
Okay, let's start the fireside chat. So we will start a discussion. As we mentioned before, that in fireside chat, it's more like informal discussion between the moderator, the speakers, and also the audience. So one more time for the audience, if you have any question, please just type directly to the Zoom chat, and we can give the question directly to the speakers. Okay, our very first question to our speakers, maybe to three of you. The very first thing is that, in your opinion, why membership matters? So maybe start from Dite Miranda.
Well, the simplest way to answer that is it's not fun without members. When I first joined Toastmasters Club, there were only 5 or 6 active members, and after the first euphoria of being heard and all those things that you get when you first had your first icebreaker speech, and then I thought, only 5 people here. So yeah, with that, I start asking the club leaders, how come there are no more members? And so they said this and that, and then members were inactive, and I happen to know quite a few of them, so I start calling them and just chatting, and eventually they all come back and make the club charter strength again. But yeah, the bottom line is, other than for our personal satisfaction, the goals wouldn't matter without members, right? And yeah, so that is the first requirement, and it's just much more enjoyable to have a lot more members. Yes. Oops, you're mute. You're silent.
Sorry. I'm too excited to hear. Okay. So thank you so much, Dite Miranda, for the answer. So maybe we can go directly to our friend Nickey. What do you think, Nickey?
Okay.
Why membership matters?
All right. Thank you, moderator John. And also, first of all, thank you, Miranda and John, for coming up with this idea of doing a fireside chat. It's interesting. So, in my opinion, I think membership is an indicator of the strength of a club. But having said that, not every club may always begin with a lot of members. Sometimes you begin with a lot, then you shrink down. How to say? But we don't judge ourselves based on the numbers or the quantity we have. But sometimes I just want to say that when you continue to be consistent in leading like quality meetings, when you are consistent in constantly building relationships among the existing members that are still around, eventually the members will begin to pour in, and it will be an indicator of like all the good works that you're doing, all the seeds that you're sowing. If you have been doing all the consistent, how to say, like seed sowing very well, it is almost impossible that your membership will grow. So I felt that, okay, sometimes when we come to a stage as the club president, right, we felt like, okay, for me, I come to this stage as well, like, wow, we've been doing everything right in the club meeting, like, like conduct such a good meeting, table topics interesting, the team is very fun and stuff like that. But why we still cannot get members coming in and things like that? Sometimes maybe the last thing to do would be to actually invite people to journey together with you all, and then that's how you actually try to convert them into members. It really takes a lot of courage to actually just ask and to invite, would you like to journey together with us and be part of this Toastmasters journey? So I felt that as you begin to extend your hand out to people, then that's where the membership will increase. And I think I would like to equate to this. When you are interesting, when you set yourself on fire, you invite other people to come and watch you burn with fire. So they will draw your fire and things like that. So when your club is interesting, is good, eventually and inevitably, your membership will increase in proportion to the quality of the club. So that's all I have to say. Back to you, John.
Okay, thank you so much, Nickey. Yes, that's true. Especially guests when they come to our meeting, our club meeting, they're just too shy to ask. It's just depending on the exco to approach them. Thank you so much, Nickey. Okay, going to Garda, what do you think? Why membership matters?
All right, thank you, Daejeon. And first of all, I'm really grateful and honored to be here to sit alongside with these outstanding speakers and to be speaking in front of you all. So, in my personal opinion, I would like to dissect into 2 points of view. The first one is the objective measurement that I believe that DTM Miranda and also Nickey have just mentioned, that by having a great membership itself within your club, it also reflects how strong your club as the existence of your club. But on the other side, on the other point of view, is that when it comes to the personal motivation, to me, it's all about the commitment. Like, for example, I believe that all of you here have a lot of membership going on. Like, for example, maybe some of you going to your favorite fitness center or food merchant membership. Why you did apply to those membership programs? Because you want to commit yourself to it, and because you have a trust to the program that they have to offer. But at the same time, you also have the trust that you can grow and you can explore a lot of benefits by joining that membership program. Same here in Toastmasters, I believe. By having your own commitment to the membership under Toastmasters International, you'll be able to unlock a lot of things. And this is something that to be the foundation of all, like why you are still committed to it. And by this commitment, you also have the trust to it. And that what makes membership matters.
Yeah, by that answer, Garda. So why do you think that, why do you want other people to join Toastmasters? What do you want to share to them?
Just like what I said before, it's about, because I have a dream to them to unlock a lot of possibilities and opportunities that Toastmasters has to offer. I know this sounds a bit cliche at the very beginning, what kind of possibilities that they can unlock. I myself, when I joined Toastmasters in 2020, yes, I'm still a newbie here. I have not even 2 years in Toastmasters yet. But after having gone through this 1.5 years in Toastmasters, at first, my personal motivation by joining Toastmasters is that because I want to escape from my daily routine. At that time, I was still working at the hospital amid the beginning of the pandemic and so on and so forth. I was really, kind of exhausted and overwhelmed with a lot of things on my daily errands. And I would like to find a lot of other things that I can truly explore myself and also to be relaxed. And then my friend offered me this Toastmasters, and I felt like, okay, maybe I can just try this. And after running a lot of things in Toastmasters, I now believe that there are a lot of possibilities and opportunities I can unlock. Like one of them is actually sitting here sharing with all of you today. It's something that I have never expected before. Little did I know that I could be able to get a lot of networks here, like for example with DTM Miranda and also Nickey, like also for like yourself, Daejeon. So this is if I can apply this to myself, I believe other people, including the guests, why they should join, because they can unlock so many things. Like it can support their education, for example, or other than public speaking, of course. Like maybe they can also make a greater network that can be very beneficial for them on their daily life, in the workplace, and everything else.
Yeah. Very good answer, Toastmaster Garda. So, DTM Miranda, as the TLI chair of District 87, what do you reckon of the executive committee in District 87? Because the people who spend their time most on membership are the excos. So, what do you think? Are the excos having the same perspective as just Garda just mentioned before?
I guess it's Garda mentioned about commitment. I see the commitment varies, and this is why, like I've been talking a lot about bringing it back to the members' interest. because if we just talk, okay, let's achieve President Distinguished Club or this or that, but what is it for them? It's great for the club, maybe great for the area and division, but for them, for the members themselves, and having been a member for 14 years, this is what I see as the area that needs the most attention. If the members are inspired, they can really see the value, and they really like going to the meeting, love their clubs, and really see the value of Toastmasters, then this would spread. The energy would spread. The meeting would have the uplifting energy, the enthusiasm, and I've seen many times that this is what attracts. So like I come from a club called Magical-Bali, and often we have members, new members who come, who have been visiting other clubs and then decided to join our club. And when we ask why, the answers invariably is about that. They feel the energy, they feel the enthusiasm. The members are like they're enthusiastic, and they care about what they're doing, and they're friendly. I mean, friendly is general, but just that care, that it matters to us being Toastmasters, and we love the what we get out of it. So we have, for example, sometimes after meetings, if there are prospects or guests, and we could just hang out, and we see members just hang out. They're not excos, but they like to hang out. They like to share what they learn. So I think this is where this needs to be. It's not just the exco per se, but like exco's job is maybe like actively seeking from members, what do they like, what do they want their clubs to be, why would they want to come to the meeting, or what is their ideal club, and working from that and create that so that members love to come, members get receive benefits from it. Then like this is a very natural human trait. If we like something, we enjoy something, we always want to share about what we do. So I think yeah, this is something that I just started to think about just this year. And before that, I was still trying to get members, and with any means. But I'm changing the way that I look about recruiting or gaining more members. So start with the members themselves
Okay,
rather
so
than focusing on the exco. I mean, having the excos focus on the members.
okay, so focusing on the members, and exco should maximize the happiness, the enjoyment of the meeting. Yes, I totally agree with Ditya Miranda. So Nickey, we have a very interesting statement here from our past Division H governor, Ditya Boy Henry. He mentioned that I agree, members really matters. We have achieved 9 out of 10 DCP, but because of the standing membership, we were not qualified for the distinguished club status. So we believe that, Nickey, you just pass, you just save, you just save from the membership threshold. So what do you think that is important for us, for members, for excos, to achieve that level, to continue on that threshold, to at least be on that threshold, as you just did?
Okay. Okay, I'll speak this from two point of view. Okay, from the members' point of view, usually when they want to join your club, during TRI, Miranda kind of like narrowed down this focus to all of us that to members' perspective, right, it's about what is the need for me to join a Toastmasters. But for the Exco's point of view, our side is like, okay, we have a DC point to hit. It's totally different mind shift. So we have this target. So actually, to be more accurate, actually we are two members away from hitting the DCP requirement because my base membership is 14, we dropped to 12. So they say net growth 5, so that means we need 19 in order to qualify for the DCP requirements. So another 2 more to go for our sites. We already got our guest list coming up and things like that. Yeah, so sorry, what's your question again, John? You are saying that how do we
to keep up the threshold. So
okay,
your base membership was 15, right? Now you have 17 members. So what did you do to get 5 members?
Okay, Okay, first of all, I would say that we work from our guest list. People who have visited our clubs before, people who have come back to our clubs to like join us for sessions for like maybe 2 times, 3 times, or even up to 4 times. Sometimes they don't do anything in the meeting. Sometimes they participated in the table topic. Sometimes they just come in during the introduction or the outro. They just like, hey, hi, okay, I love this club meeting and all these kind of things. So what we do is we go back to this visitor guest list, and then we just text them. We either me or my VPM, we will text them and we say that, hey, we would love to have a Zoom chat with you to ask you like, what do you think about the Toastmasters Club meeting you have attended so far, and what are the possible ways for us to like, you want to explore together, and what can Toastmasters Club help you in your progress and in your journey. Okay, having said that, also sometimes for me, I try to personalize and customize the message that I will present to this particular prospect, in the sense that I must get to find out a little bit more about the person's personal life, right? So, for example, so I got a guy who does a lot of all these game streaming, all this kind of thing, but he may not have a lot of followers, but he's the type of person, he likes to share ideas, he likes to talk and things like that, but he may not have a lot of audience on his side. So what I told him is that, hey bro, why not we come and do it together? You are a person that likes to present ideas. You like to share what is in your thoughts. You think a lot and you have very interesting perspective to all the various philosophical view of life, world view, all this kind of thing. Why not come to Toastmasters and participate in the speech? The people there would love to hear what you have to say, and something like that. So I customized the message very specifically to him. During one of another last meetup with another prospect, we met up with a student. So whose interest is just to come and improve on his presentation skills. He just want to like, okay, we're going to have like assignment presentations in our courses, and I just want to be a very good presenter, because naturally I'm very, the student is very introvert, very shy, and sometimes he stutter and things like that. So he's focused more on presentation methods. Okay, let me share a little bit what my VPM did. My VPM, in her most natural mode, she did share about like, oh, okay, in the club, you will meet new friends, all these kind of things and stuff like that. So as she sell on the meeting new friends, all this kind of thing, maybe it doesn't seem to interest a student that much, because it's like, okay, I'm a student. In my college, probably I can like already meet a lot of new friends through different clubs, different groups. But so what we sense is that his interest is still to master on the presentation method side. So in the end, I just kind of like nudge a little bit of my VPN to just focus and zero in on the presentation side. Probably don't focus too much on the friendship side. Just focus purely that, okay, this is a place you can learn how to present well and to be outstanding and more prominent among your class, your peers, and things like that. So we go towards that approach. So these are some of the methods that we use. Of course, if you want to find out more, maybe the John can ask me more specific questions of how we do it. So I pass this time back to the John again. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Nickey. So the very most important thing, what Nickey just mentioned, is that the post meeting. Yeah, the post meeting, we ask the guests, what do you think about the meeting, and such on. And also in terms of, we need to say to the guests that they can achieve their target, they can achieve their goal in Toastmasters. Thank you so much, Nickey. Ditya Miranda, would you like to add something on it?
Yeah, well, I think Toastmasters, the selling is very, very personal. I think we all learn that either naturally or by learning about the persuasion. But we always start with, what do they need? What is going on in their lives? What do they need? And then we suit what Toastmasters can offer to what they need. And Toastmasters is such a multifaceted and so layered that we can meet any need. I mean, I personally believe that everybody needs Toastmasters. So I can find something that suits their needs. I'm a coach, a life coach, and I always tell them, wherever they are in around the world, and they should also go to Toastmasters, because Toastmasters is where you heard, if you're not interested in public speaking and all that, but just the community, the positive attitude, being heard without judgment, allowed to express them oneself, it's already huge, and it already covers a lot of people's core needs. And of course, there are more specific needs, as is for work, for school, for personal, like that. Yeah, definitely. You can always match something to Toastmasters.
Okay, thank you so much, Miranda. So yes, in Toastmasters, it just depends on the person, what they want to achieve in Toastmasters. What do they want to achieve in their daily activities? So Toastmasters can help them. That also works for me. I was a very shy person and I went to Toastmasters. I improved myself in Toastmasters so I can get better in my daily activities. Thank you so much, Miranda. So Garda, we have a question here from Pipit. Toastmasters Pipit is the president of Pekanbaru Toastmasters. She asked, what do you guys do to promote Toastmasters in your city? So Toastmaster Garda.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pipit, for the question. Well, I would like to reiterate what DJ Miranda mentioned before, that it's all about the members themselves. In our club, our members are actually the heart of everything, and they are the core of our activities. How we promote our club is from our members. They have power to ask their colleague, their friends, to come to Toastmasters as a guest. Other than that, we can also, what we do in SCBD Toastmasters is that we utilize our social media, because we cannot deny nowadays era that the power of social media is very essential. So we maximize the use of Instagram, the use of our YouTube channel, WhatsApp, Facebook, LinkedIn. Every platform that we can utilize, we use that to reach a wider audience. This has been proven successful in our club, because most of our members, particularly in the last 9 months, they joined Toastmasters because they acknowledge our club from their random search over Google or Instagram. Some of them actually mentioned that, how did they know our club? They just randomly Google Toastmasters over Instagram, and our club, SCBD Toastmasters, appeared on top of the list. So how did it happen? It's because that we actively promote our activities by sort of, having a routine, what kind of promotional post that we'd like to post over social media so that it could also reach a wider audience. But at the same time, our members also do the same thing. Like our activities, our club meetings, they post it on their social media, they share it to their friends, they ask their friends to come. And our recent 3 new members, were actually the colleagues of our existing members. So they joined Toastmasters initially because our member asked them to join the club as a guest. But not so long after that, they applied themselves and they applied the membership as a member in our club. So it proves that the power itself is from our own member. They have the ability, they have the persuading ability for others to, hey, why don't you just join? And maybe this is very beneficial for you. And maybe, what are the things that they can unlock their possibilities they want to discover? So by combining these 2 elements between the essence of the social media and also the power of our members, when we combine it together, I believe that everyone will be very surprised, including ourselves, that we are so surprised that the reach itself can exceed our expectation at the very beginning.
Okay, thank you so much, Garda. So optimizing the use of social media, yeah, because every single time, all of us now is just using the phone in our palm. Yes, I totally agree. And also maybe related to what you just mentioned about the Instagram and all that, when someone search on something related to Toastmasters, then SCBD will be on top of it. Maybe it's related to like CEO or search on engine optimization, yeah, like in Google. Maybe something like that. So Nickey, what do you think? Because in different city, different areas, different way of approaching people, right? So what do you do in dynamic Toastmasters?
Dynamic Toastmasters origin is birthed in Kuching. So, but if you search Kuching Toastmasters, Kuching Toastmasters will come up first. Dynamic will not appear because Kuching has been way more longer history. So they obviously dominate the SEO in that sense. Okay, in my opinion, that we do not have the power of SEO on our sites, or we do not have, let's say, like social media. We do put out like postings of the events and things like that. But I felt that in this matter, we rely on personal connections. That means many of the visitors that come are actually brought on by our own members' personal contacts. That means personal contacts which we've somehow members told these visitors that, hey, come and check out our Toastmasters meeting, and it's very fun, and this way you learn public speaking, it will help you in your work. So through all these personal invitation, they have come. I felt so far we have not really. I know maybe some clubs they have very great success, tapping to like social media to like promote their posts and things like that. We really like love to learn from them. But I felt that so far our club we have not truly like harnessed the potential of the social media yet. So a lot of things are still based on personal connections coming in. So we work according to this to that strength in our club. Yeah, that's from my side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Nickey, for the answer. Ditya and Miranda, what do you think? What is the most effective way to approach potential members these days?
I would use everything. So social media and then email, and SCBD is doing a very nice job of that. You keep the list of people who registered, and then it's just become automatic. They get notified whenever there's a meeting. And then I believe also in the power of optics. So posters has to be attractive, theme, and then also the caption, the invitation. And I think we put a lot of effort into that to write what would be interesting, what would be intriguing for people to make them perk up. I mean, especially because there's just an overload of information all the time. So something has to be able to catch their attention right from the very top. So we think a lot about that. And yeah, maybe, like if I could mention, like I see some clubs that do not complete their information. I don't know whether if it's just for Toastmasters. Okay, we just have a meeting, like. But to me, something like that would look like they don't really care. You don't really care. But if you really care about wanting to people to come to your meetings, then you put an effort, write correctly, and think about what would make people be interested in coming. Just always put yourself in the non-Toastmasters place, right? And in my club, I mean, in Magical-Bali, we do like two versions. One is just for Toastmasters. So, like, I mean, we, of course, we welcome the visiting Toastmasters, but also we have to fashion the caption or the invitation a little bit differently for the audience, because they may not know what we're talking about. Like if we've just put WOD, what does that mean? WOD, word of the day, right? So we add something about Toastmasters, or a link, something that they could click on, rather than what is this about? Like if they have that question and then they don't have the answer right away, then you already lose a person who may actually look at it, but then because of a lack of information, they just pass, and you lose a potential um, uh, interest or prospect. Yeah. So everything that you can think of, your social media, tidy up your social media, your YouTube channel, your Instagram and Facebook, and even Twitter, and then like email, and then of course the invitation and the poster itself. Brand yourself through that. That's would be my suggestion. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Miranda. So yeah, in anyways, anyhow, we need to approach the potential members, right? Because they can be anywhere, in Facebook, in Instagram, in anywhere. So yeah, and be more descriptive, yeah, in
Plus,
your
of course, the
invitation.
meetings. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, always make the meetings fun, interesting, and quality. Then, because there's no point in bringing guests in, and then like you don't measure up, and then they're disappointed. They probably would not return. So
Mm.
that's what I mean by everything.
Okay, the meeting quality, meeting quality comes first. So everyone who, the guests especially when they want to come to a meeting in a club, they know that's the standard, the high standard of Toastmasters. Yes, thank you so much, Miranda. So here's a question from Miftah. So maybe it's quite simple as that. If we have members, that's quite a lot, right? Well, what about if a club which just only have 8 members, the minimum, very minimum threshold is 8 members in Toastmasters, right? So how do you approach new potential members? For instance, if only 8 members, it's very rare that the 100% of them come at the same time to a meeting. Let's say we go back to offline meeting, maybe just 4 or 5 people coming in. So how do we promote the quality and the standard of Toastmasters if there are only 4 members coming in? Nickey.
Okay. Okay. Let me share. Okay. Maybe in the standard in the standard of many club membership, maybe dynamics is more of like medium size, small size, around that kind of a range. So let me just share a little bit of what we do. Okay. We don't always hit 100% attendance, right? So there was a certain time we were hovering around like 12 memberships. Sometimes the current membership we only have 50% turnouts. So it's very funny because so you have one batch which first half of the month they will appear, and then second half of the month, suddenly you'll see a different batch. Of course, the consistent faces are the excos who are always around to support. But then we also find that some people only just come once a month, that kind of thing. So how do you juggle with that? Of course, we do have very strong members from other clubs coming in to support us. So we have like siblings clubs, I mean like from other areas or maybe from same area coming in to help us on the role playing and things like that. So in a sense, even though sometimes when guests come to check us out, we may not have our current members very high turnout, but at least it is filled up to at least 15 to 20 people in the club because other club members actually coming in to support us in that sense. So through that perspective, the guests still get to experience like, wow, okay, this is how a good Toastmasters meeting is. I mean, of course, they will know who is from which club or what, but at least they get to experience like, oh, okay, like the energy is strong and the aura is very, the vibe is very welcoming, very energetic. So they like the meeting. So that's the strategy we employed on our side so far. Yeah.
Okay, so the energy, the positive energy. So what I'm thinking is that the most important one who give the positive energy should be the Tom. Yeah, because the Tom in the meeting, 80% of the time, there will be the face of the Tom. So the Tom, the spirit should be there. Thank you so much, Nickey. So we're going to the more immersive session. We will ask the audience to ask questions directly to the speakers, and let's ask the audience to join our hot seat. Our hot seat. So we have a question here from Toastmasters Pipit raising hand. Please, Zoom host. Bring Toastmasters Pipit to our hot seat. Zoom host. Or we can just continue.
Wait, I think there's problem with this view.
Okay, maybe we can just continue directly at the Toastmasters Pipit. Please just unmute yourself and give question to who and what's your question. Thank you.
I think I'd like to share my experience first as the president of the club, because I think we're a bit struggling now in Pekanbaru Toastmasters. Not before the pandemic. So when we established the club, we've got 20 members, right? And then the membership was decreasing, and then we've got only half of the members, like around 14 before last year, June. And then what we did was we tried to conduct a webinar, and then we gained like some 6 members, and then we get 22 members. And then by the end of the term, we've got like 23 members. And then when it comes to the renewal again, and then we reduce half of the members, and then we had only 12 members left. Okay, the thing is, we tried everything, like promoting social media, okay, creating some events like Instagram Live, table topic night, like we've got meeting like 3 times in a month, first, second, third week, every Sunday, almost every Sunday. We did everything to retain members and also gain members. But what I found is a bit cliche actually, but yeah, it happened. So when it comes to the renewal, the member said like, I'm sorry because I think our budget is not, so we cannot pay for the membership fee. That's what they said. Like, okay, we've got limited budget, or yeah, it's too expensive for us now. Okay, and then what I did was for this renewal, like this, what is it? March. Okay, for March, from December, we had installment. So like 200. So it's around almost 700, right? $45 in rupiah, it's almost 700. Then we had installment, but they didn't pay the installment. Like we had the installment, but they didn't pay. So that's why I think like, is it that expensive, or what is it like? Yeah, it's it's also one of the challenges that we face right now. And now we've got 12 members still, and 1 new member, but still we're a bit struggling. We have achieved like 7 DCP so far, but we still couldn't recognize the DCP because of the membership. We need 20 members, okay, for the membership to be recognized, the DCP. Then yeah, that's it. So my question is, okay guys, is it that expensive to pay this $45? And how do you guys explain to the members or to the guests like, no, it's worth it? Like, yeah, we keep explaining about it actually, but I don't know, people still keep saying this as their excuse and reasons, like we don't have that much money to pay for the membership fee. Thank you.
Okay, so Toastmasters Pivot. So who the question will be given to?
Anyone who want
Okay.
to respond?
Okay, so starting maybe from Toastmaster Garda, yeah. Okay, please, Toastmaster Garda.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pipit, for sharing. I know it's also kind of struggle to find. Also in my club, you know, some of the members also found it really, you know, when it comes to numbers, it is really, okay, it's not something that I can always address with regard to the numbers, whether or not it's expensive, because it's subjective to many of us, right? But what I like to also share from my point of view and also from my experience, talking to some of the members who decided not to renew their membership, is that it's not because of the numbers itself, not because they felt that it's expensive, but the value that they get from paying the membership fee itself. Some of them, no, few of them said that because of this online setting, they didn't feel qualified, like very how to, you know, actualize themselves on how to practice their public speaking in front of the audience. They felt very different to find it, you know, compared to prior to the pandemic itself. So, and also apart from that, the priorities that they have in today's, you know, business and so on and so forth, like we cannot deny that we also face the new, I believe that this is coming back to normal, quote unquote. Everything's back to normal. Most of our members also back to their office, also back to their studies. And they believe that when they are weighing the priorities between, you know, to what extent they want to spend their money with, right? And when they want to invest their personal items, for example. So when it comes to the number $45 US, is it expensive or not? Yes, sometimes yes, it can be expensive. It can be not too expensive. It depends on what kind of things, what kind of you know, to-do list that you would like to accomplish within, like, for example, for the next 3 months. So In our club, we don't have that installment method because we believe that we cannot really force them to, to just spend their money to something that they don't feel the benefit in certain way. So we always believe that if they retain or they renew their membership, it is based on their personal consent and because of they believe in it, because they want to explore more about it. And so maybe DJ Miranda and Nickey has different opinions regarding this, but that's what I can share from my experience in SCBD.
Okay, so raising the value of their own,
Yeah.
of the guests. Yeah, thank you so much, Garda. What about DJ Miranda? What do you say?
Yes, I love this topic, and first I would like to acknowledge Pipit's concern, because I think this is a very common and valid concern. Like especially when you've done all that you think you can do and still not getting results, right? And I can just imagine there's like a desperation, it's like frustration that comes with it. Like, what else can we do? And yeah, with the issue of money, I've been a treasurer for a very, very long time in the clubs, and I would say it is relative. It is really relative, and I totally agree with Garda that it is about value. And if people cannot pay, if you really look at, like really ask them, usually it's not about the money itself. I mean, they make use the money as an excuse, but it may not really be the money issue, because they could spend it on other things. So I think the quickest way to cut through the issue here is to have a personal chat, and like, if they don't see the value, then they're not going to see it's worth paying, even though it's not a lot of money, right? Even the installments and stuff like that. And um, yeah, that value is something that we need to, I guess, as excos, as leaders, we need to embrace that ourselves. We have to see the value, we have to see the magic of Toastmasters for ourselves, and then we can talk. And then so when they start talking about, sorry, I missed something that I remember Garda was saying something about the value, or yeah, okay, I lose my thought of train. But like, if we really embrace the, and really enjoy the benefits of Toastmasters, we usually can find a way to help them see why they're not taking advantage of Toastmasters. Because I think, Toastmasters is so bloody cheap, compared to what you can get. And if they don't see it, then maybe as excos, we can help them see, and maybe ask them to try a little bit. And yeah, that's my suggestion, to talk to them personally, rather than, okay, try this, try that, but really talk to them and see, okay, talk to the members, what are you not getting, what would you like to see? And this is what I was starting to talk about in the very first of this event. When I talked about, like the members, talk to the members, what do they want, what are the, their ideal club, the club that they would love to come, that they don't want to miss the meetings for, and that they would be proud to call. So compile all the answers and put it together, and that also become, I mean, this links to Pa Boy's comment about target market. In my opinion, you don't just determine target market, but you look at your member demography first. Who are you? Who make up the membership? Because we like to be with people who are like us, right? So the target market is very easy to determine. More or less like people that we like to be with, and so I in TLI2 I create this blueprint for success, where it starts with like a members. What do members like? And then what kind of club, what kind of ambience they would like to have, and then what kind of people they would like to hang out with. And that's kind of like determined, so we don't just like pick, like professional people can pay, but they're not necessarily our the people that we like to be with. And I mean, yeah, Magical Bali happens to focus on young professionals. I'm not very young, but I'm still but that's like so they connect with other people who are in that same I guess stage in their lives, in their professional lives, right? And with that, we have started the annual renewal since 2014, and that hasn't changed. So people are willing to pay. It's not an issue. And like as a treasurer, I would say, if you have problem with money, talk to me. So then we would offer the installment, much like what you have done. But I found that not many people do that. If they could afford to pay, they pay in. So I would say maybe in one term, maybe one person would do it out of the even 25 or 20 or 13, whatever the number is. So again, we need to help them see the value of the club for themselves and provide that, provide what they want. And we
Yeah.
do it together, and we give the responsibility to everybody. It's not just the excos, but if you want that, then what can you do to provide that, to ensure that happens in the club?
Yeah, yeah. So
That helps
matching.
a bit, a little bit roundabout, but yeah, okay. Please feel free to ask more questions if you want to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, so we need to match, yeah, we need to by what Aditya Miranda mentioned, that we need to ask questions to the members. What do they think? Why they hard for us to pay the membership while last term you pay easily? So maybe something missing. What something is also happening, in this pandemic.
I think the John's frozen, is it?
Yeah, you frozen.
And
Frozen.
the meeting get online. Some of us don't.
Again, you are freezing.
Am I freezing?
Yeah, the John, yeah, you're still lagging and
Broken
freezing.
up. Broken up.
Your face like road.
Oh. Okay, goes to Nickey.
Oops. Daniel disappeared.
Okay, I think he was
Yeah.
asking me to answer the question or something like that before he got disconnected. Maybe okay. Before maybe I'll just answer a little bit. I like Garda's and Ditya Miranda's answer, and especially on Garda said when you talk about value and things like that. Okay, in Malaysia we have this saying, Malay peribahasa called di mana ada kemahuan di situ ada jalan. So basically means that if somebody wants something, they don't mind to actually pay for it and things like that. So maybe what I can share, I'll share about what we did with existing members who had difficulty renewing, and then I'll share about how to get new guests to actually pay for the membership fee. So on the first part, during the last renewal phase, we actually had a few members who told us that they had difficulty renewing. Sometimes we go in and we gauge we see, okay, which member could be a little bit quieter and have the potential to not renew because they are very maybe a little bit quiet and not so actively involved, maybe lately, that kind of thing. So we give a mental list of who could they be. Okay, so once 1 or 2 weeks before the renewal end dates, so we check with the treasurer, okay, who haven't renewed yet? And then so whoever haven't renewed yet, we actually check with the person. So I just give you 3 examples of 3 people that we had in this list, quiet members who not sure whether they will renew or not. So first one, of course, she said that she had difficulty paying for it because she's a student. She's working part-time to support herself. And then, so she's not sure whether she wants to renew. Okay, so this is what she told us. Okay, usually when we get this kind of case, usually the first thing we try to do among the exco's discussion, we try to gauge, okay, what is the heart and interest of the person? Because I felt that we have to go case by case basis. We have to gauge whether are they really still interested to proceed on? Is their heart still there, or is it like, they're just like not interested anymore, they don't want to continue anymore and things like that. Okay, usually if they don't want to continue anymore, we just, okay, it's all right lah. I mean, we give you all the choice to decide. We respect your decision. I mean, it's sad that we need to part ways, but it's all right. But because we don't want to force somebody to join when their heart is no longer there. I mean, the focus could be better spent on people who are new or who are like the fire is still there. So we don't cry over spilled milk in that sense. Okay, but in our case, we felt that the heart and the interest are still there. Probably the financial part is a little bit difficult. So what me and my excos came out is we said that, hey, how about a few of us, how about we sponsor her renewal fee for this term, but just for this term, and then we see how things improve along the way and stuff like that. So that's what we did. A few of us came in to chip in for her renewal fee. Okay, so that's first case. Second case, we had a member who said he's a dual membership. And he said that he said it's very difficult because you need to like sustain 2 sites, and then he might want to drop off our site because he wants to focus on another club. So I spoke to him and I said that maybe, bro, why not just try one more term? What I can do is we can help you to pay first, but along the way you can pay back to us in installment or something like that. Okay, but partly also I tell him that we're trying to hit the discipline points requirements. So hope you can support us because he's a long time Toastmasters member already. So he said, okay, no problem. He said he will support us for this term and things like that. But I would say essentially sometimes it's about gauging the heart, because there are really members that we actually let them go because we felt like, okay, the heart and the interest is no longer there. We don't want to kind of like hold them back. So we do help certain of the members on a case-to-case kind of a basis. Okay, so moving on, how do we sign new members into the club when budget is an issue? Okay, first of all, there are new members who signed in. Budget is not an issue for them. They're earning good salary, they felt the value is there and no issues. Okay, so for these people, no problem. Just sign them up. They say, okay, we'll pay in full, no problem. These are the happiest scenario that you ever meet. No problem for you. Okay, then you meet somebody who says things like, oh, we are having some sort of a transition in life, like we are a little bit tight on budget and all this kind of thing, or maybe I'm currently jobless, or I'm working in sales, I'm not getting any of like sales coming in, no commissions for the month, I'm relying on my savings. Okay, these examples I use are really some real life scenarios from the new members that we just recruited. Okay, so what we did among our excos, we actually had this sponsorship fund. So what every excos did is we chip in a certain amount of money. For us, maybe per exco around like maybe 50, 100 ringgit. We leave it up to the excos on a free will basis. We don't force an amount. We just say that we give you a guideline of how much you think you can give. And then if you want to give more, it's okay. You want to give less, or if you don't want to give at all, that's totally fine as well. So after we gather the funds, we call it like a sponsorship fund. Okay, so whenever we meet, we talk to a new member and we sense that when it comes to the signing up fee time, and the new member says that, budget could be an issue, that kind of thing. So we kind of like engage. And then if we felt that the interest and the heart is really want to join, so this is what we tell them. We said that, all right, let not your heart is there, your interest is there. Let not finances stop you from starting this journey. So what we want to do is, in our exco, we have this initiative to help people to waive off the fund. Okay, so but we come in to waive off the fund. We don't give full sponsorship. Okay, I'll explain why later. But we help them to partially sponsor the membership fee. Okay, on our Malaysian ringgit side, it's about 100 ringgit. I'm not sure on the Indonesian side, how much is it? So we help them to waive off the one-time registration fee, but the monthly fee, they have to be able to carry on their own. Okay, the reason why is because, okay, membership fee roughly in Malaysian ringgit is about 35 ringgit per month, equivalent to 2 McDonald's meals. Okay, so we have to let them have a sense of ownership, because we have had members before that we do full sponsorship and they felt like, I'm here because it's free, I can come and I can go anytime. So we felt that sometimes members who are given full sponsorship, if we don't transit them into like full ownership of the renewal fee, sometimes they may just have the tendency to take things for granted. I come whenever I want to because it's free anyway, that kind of thing. So, and then most of the time, they might not stay long. So one of the things that we want to drill into new members is that, yes, we will help you to waive off the membership fee, but on the monthly fee, you must, if you're able to, you must carry on your own, because on our side, we experts know that we must develop a sense of ownership to that. Okay, of course, having said that, some of them will be like, oh, but paying 6 months at one shot is still a very big amount and things like that. Then in that case, we do it on a case-by-case basis again. We say that if you're able to pay 6 months, okay, great. But if you're really not, we still can come in to help you to pay first, but on an installment basis, no problem. We do it on a case-to-case basis, and we gauge what is the hard interest of that new member again. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is how we did the recruitment on the financing part. I hope, you feel free to see how it works best in your club, because maybe different members might respond differently. But so far in our club, this is how we did it. Yeah. All right. So thank you for listening, and back to the John.
Wow, wonderful, Nickey. There will be, I believe, people will get a lot of insights from all the speakers, what she will do, because she is the president of Vakanvo Toastmasters. There will be a lot of things that you can do in Vakanvo Toastmasters. Thank you so much, Pipit, and thank you so much to all the speakers. So we continue to the next question from my friend, my dear friend, Area H1 Director, Pak Putu. Pak Putu, he's asking a question: how to retain the members in the community club? Maybe Pak Putu, could you develop the questions a little bit more to the speakers, please?
Yeah, thank you, Dajon. So actually, I have one club in the community club is IT Leadership Toastmaster Club. We built last year with DTM Studio, but the membership currently is decreased from the previously 21, now only 12. So it's different with the corporate club and my club, Subapap, because this is paid by company. This is the question. This is the question, Pak Dajon.
Okay, thank you so much, Pak Putu. So for the community club, yes, there is a specific challenge, in terms of the membership fee, because the members pay it by themselves. It's different compared to company club, which normally the company budget based for the membership. So what do you say, Ditya Miranda, about this?
Actually, we've been talking about community club, right? Just the last few minutes, and I would still say the same thing, what we just said. It's retain the members in the community club. If the problem is about them not wanting to renew, and if the issue is money, I think Nickey already offered quite a few suggestions, and also the installment system. With the installment in that we do in our club, what we offer is like, let's say the renewal is in end of March, so it's January they can start putting some money aside to us, and then so by the March, then the money would be enough. And then moving forward, I guess this is for retaining members, right? And yeah, and then like, if the interest is waning, whenever people don't want to renew, I always ask them, what's happening. Some of them have valid reasons, they have to move or this or that, but if it's value, or it's in losing interest, like the one that says, well, like that, in from Pipit's sharing, they say that they don't feel like they get anything much out of Toastmasters. I would turn the question around: what would you like to get out of Toastmasters, and work with that, and yeah, find a way to give that to them, and even announce it to the club, like, we'd like to do this and this, and maybe we can experiment and how this works, and get the member who say that they're not getting things out, to take more ownership. If they want something different, then what would they like to do? What would be their initiatives? So give members more initiative to do things, rather than things deciding by the exco, or exco is working hard, like, so that would be my suggestion.
Okay, thank you so much, Tita Miranda. What about you, Garda? How do you retain membership?
Yeah, thank you, Pak Putu, for the question. And I'm also on the same page here with DJ Miranda and also Nickey with regard to how we retain members in our respective club. And adding to what DJ Miranda just shared is that other than values that, and also throw the question back to the member, what do you need and what do you want to achieve here in Toastmasters, is that in our club, we try to maintain the ambience not as just colleague, but we try to make it as friendly as possible. And also more than that, above all, you try to make a family out of it.
Exactly.
Because of that, because if you have sort of, a closer relationship among members, not just, hey, I know you as a Toastmaster member, hey, I know you as a work colleague, it will create a boundaries and a gap between us. And it would make them hesitant to, to explore more and to maybe in this context to renew their membership, because they would see as just, a professional way and it's just like a work matter. But it's not about that. And what we'd like to maintain is that here in SCBD Toastmasters, for instance, we would like to, abolish that gap between us. Like, regardless of our age, we still respect each other, but we treat others like as our family. I know that some of us in our members, like they already, in terms of age, above 40, and one of them actually a national armed force officer. So like with this regard, with this situation, a very dynamic, we always try to maintain, hey, oh my God, think, like for example, what one of our members opened their, business, and we make a visit to their place as if that we're friends. We are more than just friends. We are not talking about as a Toastmaster member or Toastmaster colleagues. Like that kind of ambience, when we instill that in our club, it also makes the sense of, belonging from them. That also what would make them consider and to deliberate whether or not they want to renew their membership. I know that if we try to break down and we try to narrow it down, for example, to just to the substance of the public speaking itself, anywhere you can, in any place, you can also think the public speaking, even in your bedroom. But when it comes to the community like this in Toastmasters, it's like you try to broaden your network. You meet a lot of new people with various backgrounds, with various kind of expertise that you'd like to engage yourself with them. So how would you maintain that? Is because you feel close to them personally, to see that, oh yeah, I respect you as a Toastmaster member, and we just connect in regard to Toastmasters. If we maintain it this way, I'm sure that they will not renew in 6 months or so.
Yeah. Wonderful, Garda. I totally agree with that, because especially in our division H&M, we've been taught as a leader to be in a family, as a family. Even in fact, our WhatsApp name is Division H&M Family. So yes, to be family, and related to what Nickey just mentioned as well before, that the exco, they can use their own pocket money to subsidize the membership fee of a member. I believe if there is no togetherness and also family in Dynamic Toastmasters, the exco wouldn't be doing it, right? So I believe it. So what do you think, Nickey? How do you retain?
Yes, so I felt that first of all, the excos have to come together in believing that the club's, the members' interest. Sometimes when people put in money, it shows where their heart is, because they are willing to, okay, I'm willing to put this amount of money to just, let's say, like support another member, subsidize another member. So I felt it shows where their heart is. Sometimes when sometimes I also can be a little bit shy to ask people for money. I mean, I don't guys, yeah, guys, we need to, like chip in some fun and things like that. But sometimes I just felt like, okay, but really as the president, I need to drop out like a text message and put it in the ESCO group, because I really felt that, okay, if another member really needs like a financial support, let the whole team see what we can do about it. I'm not sure what the response is going to be, but when the support come back and it's very positive from the EXCO members, I'm very happy as a president. That means all the EXCO members are very united in the sense that they sincerely and eager to come in to want to help the member to, let's say, cover their renewal fee and things like that. So I think it's a very good thing. Sometimes we may be shy to ask for money, but I think it's okay to take the step of courage to just see whether the EXCOs, they are okay to come in to support in that sense. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Nickey. I really like that statement that if we are together, we can solve any problem. You know, very good. Thank you so much. Okay, so next up we have a question here from Miftah. Miftah, could you elaborate your question? Oh, you're
Okay,
driving.
thank you so much.
Please be careful, yeah?
Okay.
Yes, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. There are two questions here. The first, how to struggling a new club. Since we have in Division B, we have 4 clubs running, and then the second question is how to make pathway more sexier, so that because of that we can see the benefits of Toastmasters International, and then because this is Miranda is here, the TLI chairperson, means that in the PQ team also how to make pathway sexier than before, so that we can engage more the audience and also the members to join the Toastmasters and spread the benefit of Toastmasters, like you said before, like you say that. Spread the value, and how to spread the value, the call to action about that. Thank you so much. Back to you, Dajon.
Okay, thank you so much, Miftah, for the question. So, Nickey, what do you say about it, Nickey?
Okay, how do we make pathway more sexier? Okay, I would say that you mean, okay, sorry, Miftah, is this for new members or is this for existing members?
All members and new members or existing members, because in Division B we have 4 new clubs under Division B, and also the existing clubs reduce their membership because of they didn't renew themselves.
Okay. I think I will split it into 2 categories: new members and existing members, because I felt they're in a very different phase. I think for new members, there is a certain freshness and excitement and anticipation when they join. You know, when we first explained to them, hey guys, you're going to be delivering your first speech. Okay, now everybody, we actually did a briefing with them where there are 11 paths for them to choose. Which one do you want to go for, and which one you think represents your intention? What is your intention? So to them, they're excited. They're like, oh, effective coaching, leadership, presentation mastery, all these kind of things. So to them, there is a certain freshness. So they're excited at first. They're like, wow, okay, we're going to take the first step to this path. For new members, I felt it would be more of like somebody needs to go in to guide them, to kind of like tell them that, okay, this is what you need to do to deliver the first pitch. And then after everything is done, we need to go in and tell them that, hey, good job, So let's plan for the second one. Let's find a date and things like that. So for new members, a lot of hand-holding is required in a sense to keep them going, because maybe they're new. They won't rarely sometimes you may find members who are like, okay, I want to give this speech, but most members kind of need somebody to just guide them along and to tell them what to do. Okay, existing members who have come to the middle of it, how do we maintain the stamina and how do we maintain that kind of excitement, because they have already done it, they're halfway through, and then they're like, okay, maybe other commitments may come in to compete with their attention and their time. Okay, I felt a lot of these parts would fall back to how in my club, the VPE actually does most of the assigning of the speech delivery. Once in a while, me as the president will go in to help. If let's say I felt that, okay, maybe there are certain members haven't been delivering speech, maybe I can ask and things like that. But in our clubs, sometimes we have to do a lot of asking. Hey, it's been a while since you delivered speech. Why not you try it for this certain date and things like that. So occasionally we do say that, hey, if you guys want to deliver speech, why not just put your name in the roster and things like that. But having said that, in my club, 90% of the time, either me or the VPE have to go and approach them to ask, hey, anybody of you wants to like deliver a speech? And yes, we do notice that some members, it's like very, very long time didn't deliver speech and things like that. And then there are some members who are like, wow, every 1 month you will see them delivering speeches. Of course, the question is how do we balance that and things like that. Okay, I've not found the perfect answer to this because we are also trying to figure out. But I think the key to retaining existing members to keep on staying in the club is when they are involved. I felt whether they are involved in the speech delivery parts or whether they are involved in the role-taking part or even in leadership in terms of an area or other levels, I think these are some of the ways to make them feel involved. You know, some of you might know Chester, right? He's from Kuching Toastmasters. He come out to help out in the club. So to him, he said that his focus right now may not be so much on the speech delivery, but he's more involved in the organizing and the leadership part of doing things. For him, that's one way for him to be involved. So I felt that maybe for existing members, like who have been quite a while, for them to actually continue to involve may not just necessarily be on the speech delivery part, but it can be other aspects of Toastmasters, depending on what is their current need for the season. So that's what I think. Okay, so back to you, Djono.
Okay, thank you so much, Nickey. So what do you think about DT Miranda?
I think Miranda is on mute.
You're mute. You're still muted.
Yeah, sorry. My dogs were
Okay.
loud earlier. Yeah, Miftah, I think I would need a little bit more information from you when you said that Pathways is not sexy. How do you approach that? How do you get new members or members to connect or to learn about Pathways? Do you just throw them in like that, or do you explain to them? I will ask your question a little bit, but you know, in my ways, the way that I'm familiar with, Pathways is actually one of the sellers. You know, one of the closer. Most people, you know, like especially like, you know, executives or people who have done a lot, they think they don't need Toastmasters. When I explained Pathways to them, they said, oh yeah, I think I can use something, you know, part of it to fill in the gaps or improve myself on that part. So the offering in Pathways with 11 paths, there's already meeting a lot of needs. So and then to add to what Nickey is saying, I don't know if you give mentor to every new member. Do you do that? So
We had a briefing.
no, I'm asking.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I mean, if you want to unmute yourself. So like when a member is coming, so that is another selling point for us, that when you join Toastmasters, you get this. So we give them the list of benefits, and you get a mentor right from the very beginning. And the mentor's job is to do, you know, to make them understand more about Toastmasters, understand about Pathways. But I'm sensing from your question, there's also an issue about online and offline. Is that right?
Yes, it's because online meeting, the existing club didn't want to renew themselves because it's online meeting. There is no benefit from it like that. So how you can elaborate more about the online meeting itself and also the pathway to elaborate more about that.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yes, I understand where you're coming from, because somebody also talked to me about this and said there is a perception, or there's a feeling that you're not getting as much out of the Toastmasters learning or skill building without the offline meeting. And I disagree with this, you know, like because the skill is the skill. You know, the very little difference is like, okay, you don't have the, you know, like, but if you go beyond the perception that, okay, well, you know, like, I mean, people are not seeing me, people are still seeing you. And if you just focus on the skills is the same. right? I mean, the only slight difference is like when you're online, you can read your script and pretend like, you're not, right? And then for me, there is just like an adjustment, okay, we have the advantage of that for while we have to do online meeting, but when we have to do offline meeting, it's very similar. We just have to practice a little bit more, or if you're lucky, you can have the organizer provide you with a teleprompter. If you look at all the big speakers, they all use teleprompter, right? So the skill isn't actually in the writing of the speech to make your speech inspiring, persuasive, and all of that. So the power is more there. Delivery is, yeah, we can adjust that, but the real skill is that. And I believe that maybe this is something that they can you can explain. I mean, depending on how you feel yourself. If you feel like you're gaining something from being Toastmaster, I know you're quite like you haven't been around for very long, right? With Toastmasters, so most of your experience are also from online. So if you can explain how you benefits from it, and then try that and ask them, try, like, I mean, focus on the skills. What is it, the skills that you want to get, right? Because it's just a perception. They're just perceiving, they're just thinking that they're not developing their skills when they're not offline. And then, lastly, I would say some people are not going to change their mind. And there's nothing you can do about it, right? So my suggestion is, okay, why don't make a new club, or, create a new club for the people who want to do more online, and leave the ones who really want to be with offline. And, like, I mean, if you have a division, if you are a director, group them together. I mean, in Jakarta, in Bandung, you have a lot of clubs. My suggestion is like, yeah, put them together. And if they want to go with their, what do you call that? The old legacy program, well, or get them to, purchase the manuals, the pathways manuals that is not online, because that is an option. Not many people explore that. But if they want to do pathways and they don't want to do the online part and they want to stay offline, and get them to buy the manuals, the hard copy ones, right? Something like that. I hope that helps, Mifta. But I mean, I'm happy to explore that further with you if you want to have a personal discussion with that. Does that help a little
Okay.
bit?
Thank you, Nickey and Miranda, for your answer. Garda, what do you think? Because we're about running out of time, so maybe Garda, could you answer the question, please?
Thank you, Mifta, for the question. I believe that Nickey, Miranda, and Nickey has just wrapped up all of those statements. But if I may add a little bit from my point of view, in SCBD, we always have this orientation meeting with the new members with regard to their exploration to the pathways and all the systems. And what we often say to the members is that literally and figuratively, do not see it as a law constitution, but consider it as a novel. When you look at something, a very packed manuals, you would get stressed out. Oh my God, so many things I need to do, so many things I need to memorize, and so on and so forth. But if you look at a book that is really, interesting for you to explore, interesting to you for you to read, your mindset will lead you to do something that is beyond your expectation or your imagination.
Mhm.
So I would say to the members that, hey, don't get stressed out with these pathways. It's not that scary. It's not the constitution that you need to follow. I mean, the rules, I mean, as a citizen, for example, you don't need to really like very tight or firm, but consider it as a novel that has a narrative story that will bring you to a happy ending, something like that. So it will make members, be it new members or existing members, do not get afraid of these pathways. And if for those existing members, let's say they are struggling with finishing their respective project, for example, those who are reaching level 4 or level 5, we ask them personally, hey, what Do you find it hard to finish your project? Do you need any help from us? What are the things that you need from the team, for example? Like, because we also do it in SCBD, like some of the members, when they try to accomplish their level 4 projects or level 5, most of them, they were in level 4 projects when it comes to, I forgot the name of the elective project, but we finally made it like an IG live, like something that they have to create a team, they make an interactive session with our members and also our guest speaker from other clubs. I mean, that kind of thing, if we try to look at comprehensively, we can also help them achieve that. We can also help them to make it happen. So what we need to do is to look at their perspective, whether or not they see it as something scary or something very fun to discover. So if we can try to make it heart-to-heart session and heart-to-heart talk with them, obviously we can try to solve and get the red line of everything.
Yeah. Can I?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Can
much.
I just add something just very small to that?
Yes, please. Yeah.
Yeah. The importance of mentor cannot be undermined, because when the mentor does it properly with the Pathways mentor program, you start the first meeting with a discussion about what are your goals, right? What are your goals for the members, the new member? Because once they realize that, like this questionnaire is quite deep, and people is not just you can start thinking about your life. What do I really want? Some people never had goals or never had things that they want to aspire, but by having that goals, now they have to think. And then once you said, yeah, I kind of want this and this, and then you match what Pathways or how Toastmasters can help them achieve their goals. So the marriage is start in the beginning with that. But it is important to have mentors who are have done the Pathways mentor program, or have done the mentor district training. Yeah. So I would start with building the number of mentors in the club as well. So that's my last comment.
Okay.
Thank you, Dajon.
Thank you so much to the speakers. Miftah, does that answer your question?
Yes, that's answer my question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Miftah. So, my dear ladies and gentlemen, for Toastmasters, we are already in 5 free. So I sincerely apologize. We a little delay. So maybe we can just directly go on to the call to action from speakers, a short one, maybe starting from Nickey. What is your call to action to people who attend this meeting? Please, Nickey.
I guess it has to tie back to today's session title, right? Which is how to get the members in the last minute crunch in less than 2 months, right? Okay. So for me, I would say that let's talk about membership, because you are here. We are all here today because we want to discuss ideas on how to get that last minute membership. Probably go back to our guest list, those people who have joined us before. And you can find ways to kind of like get in touch with them, to like what I shared earlier, text them to see that, hey, would you be interested for a Zoom chat to see if how do you find the Toastmasters meeting so far, and what are the ways that we can, what can Toastmasters Club do for you, for example, and then see if they reply or not. Okay, some may reply, some may not. Then you take it on from there. I would say that this would be the best time to run through the guest list. Okay, my club is running online fully, so we use Zoom chat to make this work. I understand that maybe some clubs are offline, so you can use whichever method that works best for you, whether you want to use like online WhatsApp, or or go out for a coffee and things like that, but whatever that works for you. So then from there, then you try to pop that question, or try to be more intentional about having that conversation about what is Toastmasters to you and how it can help you in your journey. And then let's see where it leads you to. Maybe for some of us who may not have initiated before I start initiating all these things, I find it a bit scary as well. Like a lot of things running in my head, like, am I going to get rejected, or these people stop answering my calls or messages, or what? You will get all these kind of things, but it's okay. Just give it a try. After all, our term is only another 2 months plus. Let's try it out and see where it leads you to. Yep, that's all from my side. Back to you, Djono.
Okay, just Max make the most of the time. Yeah, Nickey. Thank you so much. What about you, Dite Miranda? Your call of action.
Yes. Okay. 2 months and 1 week. That's what we have. And I would pull out all stops. So that means like, okay, meeting has to be consistently good. And then Exco can focus on really, making sure that the meeting's well organized and the social media is optimized. And then asking members to bring one guest. Every member brings one guest, right? So if you think about the numbers like that, it's really, if everybody brings one guest, then it's quicker to achieve the numbers. And then prepare for if you're online, a webinar or an open house, or demo meeting online. So that would include like something that is useful for the public. Let's say something that is immediately useful, like how to speak without preparation or something like that, or how to overcome your fear, or how to build your confidence. Something like that can be given in a half an hour by one of the senior members, or pull a trainer or something like that. So combine that kind of educational, and then with the demo meeting. So demo meeting has to be good. So don't ask your members, like, say, who wants to do it? Pick the ones who can know what to do and does it well, because this is like a show. The demo meeting is like a show, so that the guests can get a sense this is running well, it's running smooth, and have maybe a slightly longer table topics table topic session, and also a segment for explaining about Toastmasters and Toastmasters membership, and then also a question and answer session in the end if they want to know more about Toastmasters or about becoming a member. So prepare already. If you don't have your numbers met yet, have to have at least one, if not two, of those, whether online or whether offline, and ramp up the, like, being nice, or approaching the guests, asking what they need, how we can help you, and all those things. And I guarantee you this will work.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dite Miranda. So
Yes.
so prepare events that is needing less preparation but yet very impactful. Thank you so much, Dite Miranda. What
And
about you,
invite as many
Garda?
people as possible. Of course.
Yes, thank you. What about you, Garda? Your call to action.
Thank you, Dajun. I agree with Nickey and Miranda here. And from my point of view, I have three points as for the call to action. The first one is to always start with the members. For example, encourage them to, invite their friends or their peers to join the meeting so that they can also feel the vibe and also experience the benefits out of it. Secondly, keep the meeting qualities. I agree with Miranda there. Like, for example, here in SCBD, we always apply sort of the lineups, and also we record the meeting. We upload to our YouTube channel so that we can also look back to our previous recordings. What are the things that we can learn and we can improve in the next round, so that all of us will still make progress. That is also one of it. And lastly, to always engage with the others, regardless of their status, be it members, guests, DTMs or not DTMs, everyone is equal here. So always engage with them, always ask them out, what do they feel about the meeting, what are their suggestions to improve the club, anything, because Toastmasters would not be Toastmasters if it weren't because of the members, right? And to engage this, we always do this sometimes in our club. For example, I sometimes ask my exco out for a coffee session, or even with the members, hey, you want to join us? Feel free to join. Because I haven't had the experience of offline meeting, because I joined the membership in Toastmaster during the online meeting. So it's really good for me to also experience, to get to know one another. Like, we have many members in the club, but we don't get to know each other because of this online setting. So it's really good to know them personally outside the Toastmaster world. So leave the Toastmaster behind to get to know personally. That is the beginning of everything.
Okay, thank you so much, Garda, for your call to action. And thank you so much to dear fellow Toastmasters, ladies and gentlemen, that sum up our event of this afternoon. I hope that I believe that everyone in here, the president, the VPE, the executive committee, the members of Toastmasters family can reap the benefit of this agenda. So let's make the most of our leadership in 2 months and 1 week. Let's do our best because Toastmasters really helpful to all of people who join Toastmasters, including me myself. So because Toastmasters is the place where leaders are made. I'm as the moderator say thank you so much to all of you, to all the speakers, to all the participants, to all the people who give questions. Thank you so much for our humble event, and sincerely apologize. We a little bit of overtime, 11 minutes, and thank you so much. Let's close our session with a photo session. So Zoom host, please. Yeah. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen,
Everyone, please
I'd like to
turn on your
invite you
camera
to
so we
turn
can take
on.
picture for one more.
Yes, please, host.
Toastmaster Kevin and Pak Putu. Okay, let's start in 3, 2, 1. More in 3, 2, 1. Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much once again
Thank
to our
you,
speakers,
everybody.
Miranda Rumi. Thank you so much to Toastmaster Garda. Thank you so much once again to Toastmasters Nickey for sharing your thought. And once again, I believe everyone can reap the benefit of this agenda. If not, I, especially myself, reap the benefit of this agenda. Thank you so much, DTM Liana. Thank you so much for attending our humble event. Thank you so much for Yasiska. Thank you so much for our Division H Director, Toastmaster Suryani, thank you so much. DTM Suharjo Setio, thank you so much. Miftah, thank you so much for coming. DTM Sukiman Saragi, thank you so much for coming in. And
Oops.
I think it's frozen.
Kevin as a president of
Okay, thank you everyone for the
Thank you.
speakers for your sharing. Everyone, thank you very much for your sharing. I will take my leave first. Have a nice day. Bye-bye, everyone.
Okay, thank you everyone. Have a nice weekend.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you so much, everyone.
so much. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Have a very good evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we end this?
Yes, yes. End meeting, Johnny, please.